Hello, welcome to the RC Block. I'm Jamie Nitro, and thank you for tuning in. Today, I got something special for you guys, so let's get into it. Okay, so I had to do it. I had to order up the new Cison LS-V8 engine, and I ordered it up from sterlingkit.com. It's the only place that I trust to buy any of these engines from. I've been purchasing engines from Sterling Kit for a few years now, and I've always received every engine in great condition, ready for me to put together and to get running. So yes, please do not buy any of these. Do not fall for the scams that are out there on the internet. They'll get you. They'll say you got one of these engines for $100. It is completely false. These engines range in the thousands of dollars, so please don't fall for the scams online. Now, with this Cison LS-V8 engine, I absolutely had to have it. It seems like it had everything that the OHV, Cison OHV engine has, and then some, and I was right. So on paper, looking at everything the way it is right now, it looks like it is a far superior engine to the Cison OHV V8. But let me just show you what's going on here and what I have in front of us. We got stainless steel headers here, and I really like the fact, I had to make these myself, but I really like the fact they included these little end pieces, so you can either have them just like that on an engine stand or model pointing out, whatever you want. But it's also easy to hook up to a tube and exhaust system if you're building a model. Very nice feature in that. The main intake here, so they could have just went and made this out of plastic, but what they did is they made this out of aluminum, and it's very nicely done, very nice machining, and it looks the part of a LS engine. And the carburetor is central carb here. This, I believe, is a new carburetor. I've never seen the low speed and the high speed here, and this carburetor looks bigger than anything I've seen from Cison before, so I think this is a new carburetor just for the LS engine. So I'm very excited to get this together. I'm just overloaded here because this engine has so many features I haven't seen in any other engine yet. It's very exciting for me as a model engine enthusiast. The pistons here, they've done a better job with the piston rings. They have different sizes, so now you can't mistake which ring is which, and even the instructions are a little more clear about which way the oil ring goes. The connecting rods here are a little bit different too, because they're using a pressurized oil system now. So now the oil goes right through the journal on the crankshaft and lubricates your connecting rods for you. Very nice design, and I'm going to go through that design in a minute here. Their pulleys, they got some nice lightweight pulleys. Their oil pump has brass gears in it. Both gears are brass. Very nice. They've been listening to us. All of the gears, everything here is so nicely made. This is your cam gear. Very nicely made. And this is also adjustable too. They have your idler gears, your crankshaft gear there. Nice, and these are steel. And they put them in a bag so they don't rust on you, which is great. I appreciate that. And then you got your rear cover. And the rear seal on this engine is really unique. I can't wait to try it out myself. I haven't seen anything like it. It's very like a real full-size engine rear seal, so very excited to put that together. I found that the camshaft is the same or very same as what the OHV camshaft is. Even the profile all looks the same. But now here is something special. Here I have the crankshaft. Now there's the rear of the crankshaft there. They really did a nice job on this crankshaft, like my god. So it's all pressure fed, cross drilled. You got all your holes. I still have to go through and make sure there's no clogs in any of the holes here, and that all the oil feeds out through all the holes nicely. That looks like the main feed right there, and that's gonna be fed in right from your main pressurized oil system inside of the engine already. And I'm gonna go through all of that in a moment here. Okay, so remember how we were having some difficulties with the whole starter setup and that one gear falling out? Cison has gone and made it so that there's only 2 gears here now. So, and they didn't put a complete hole in here like they did last time, so this gear isn't just gonna fall out on us. Very nicely done. Thank you for listening. On this guy, like I said, they've listened to us so much. This engine is a product of the customers letting Cison and Sterling Kit know what they want out of an engine, and we're finally getting it. This is the flywheel for the Cison LS engine. If you notice here, they got these 2 big holes. They're for 5th scale 2-shoe clutch. So if you want to put a 5th scale clutch, like a Baja 5B clutch on here, they made it so you can easily adapt that on there. They've got a very nice screw pattern if you want to do your own plate, mount a plate on here and do your own clutch design. Or if you want to use the stock transmission, that 6-speed or 8-speed transmission they have there, they've made it so you can also attach the gear mount for your main gear. So they really listened to everybody and said, you know what, let's make this so it's more universal. Now we got several clutch options that you can put on this engine. On the one-way starter gear here, now I haven't had any problem with my one-way bearing on the OHV, the 44C V8 Cison engine. But they've gone to like a needle bearing style. And I mean, I'm curious to see how it goes. My only concern is that the race on the inside here, this is just composite material, maybe even plastic. And if too much of a load gets put on this, it can break that plastic carrier for the needle bearings, and then you got to replace the one-way. But we'll see how it goes. I've never used the needle bearing for a starter on these model engines before, so for myself, this is new territory. Now let's just finish this up here. So we got the pulleys here. You got adjustable pulleys. They've given you your belt and some hoe tubing. It looks like you got some Tygon and regular silicone tubing. You got your gaskets. You only need 3 gaskets. Everything else you're going to use silicone, like for oil pan and stuff. Then I really like this here. So they've gone and added an oil splash guard, so you're not getting oil picked up by the pistons and brought into the cylinders. But they've also, this is really cool, they've got insulated fiber gaskets for the intake manifold. This is going to help insulate the intake manifold from heat from the engine. It's going to help it to run cooler, get cooler air into the engine. Well thought out, like really nice. I like that. Good job. Because normally they use an O-ring attached directly to the engine, so all that heat is conductive from the engine to the intake manifold, and eventually you're just getting all this hot air into the engine. That's going to help keep the air cooler. Now I already got the cylinder heads out. I've got the valves all lying out here in order. And I've got what you have to do with this engine is install the seals on the engine. And one thing I should note here, the instructions aren't very clear for the U-cup seal for your intake. So I'm just going to explain here. When the U-cup seal is in for your intake valve, you want the U-cup part to be facing up towards your valve cover. That way when the piston is drawing air in, that seal will seal up and prevent any extra air from getting in, changing the air mixture. So you want to make sure in the manual it says place at the top of the valve. Well, that could mean to the top of this valve here, or it could mean to the top of this because this is the valve stem. So really it's understanding the terminology between the China and Americans or Western countries is a little bit hard to understand sometimes. But when you look at how everything is made on the engine there, you definitely want that seal to seal when it's drawing air in. And if you had the U-cup facing downwards towards the piston, when the piston is drawing air in, it could also draw air in through the U-cup as well, and oil and whatever else, causing it to smoke more. But so when you're looking at the instructions, remember that U-cup has to go facing the top way. That way no oil or anything can be drawn into the cylinder when it's on the intake stroke. I did contact Sterling Kit about that to let them know, and I'm sure they'll let Cison know. Now these are also really cool. I do have one more gripe about these though. You see these spark plugs, they're facing the back, towards the back of the engine. Well, when you're machining these, why couldn't you make, this is the right side, why couldn't you make the right side face the back as well? Instead, the right side is facing forwards instead of backwards. So that's my biggest gripe with this engine, which really is really small. So I mean, I'm not complaining too much, but it would have been nice if they had them both facing that same direction, just for a uniform look on the engine. Okay, let's get into the end here, finish this video up. We got the valve covers here, very nicely done, super lightweight. Like, I don't even want to drop them. They're just super light. Everything's all nicely drilled and tapped and ready for you to put the modules on top of here for your ignition. We got the front timing gear cover. You see, they've just done a beautiful job on all the every single part. Just looks absolutely awesome. The oil pan seems like it has a bigger capacity, and this is why you wash out parts. Little piece of hair in there. The oil pan looks like it has a little bit bigger capacity than the original 44cc. I really like this design. It seems like it holds the oil more in the pan and is gonna less go in the motor. So kudos to that. And because it's so deep here, the oil is gonna pool up in here, and there will be more oil to get for the pump. So hopefully your pump's never running dry there. All right, now let's get into this water pump here and the block. This block is crazy. I gotta sit down for this. If you look at this block, it is beautifully machined. Everything is nicely uniform. Like, wow, I could never in my dream machine a block that looked like this for boat main, but that looked like this, and for the price of this kit. There's no way. The amount of time that it would go into developing this block, machining the block, building it, and getting it perfect over trial and error. No way. It's impossible. They've done such a fantastic job on this. So let me explain what's going on here. You got your piston liners, and what they've done this time is installed them for you. So now you don't have to worry about pinching O-rings and leaking through your piston sleeves and stuff. But what they've also done is inside here, they've added epoxy. This is a high temp gray epoxy to each of the cylinder liners in the shallow part here. Just in the shallow part, nowhere else. I don't see anywhere else. They've done that to both sides. So that was really nice of them. They've sealed it up and made sure that it's not gonna leak on you, and they've installed all that for you. Now you gotta wash every single part on this engine. I wouldn't put anything together without cleaning it thoroughly and lubricating every single part that you're putting back together. Let me just go through and explain this cooling system, because I'm really excited about this cooling system. This is the best cooling system that I've seen. I haven't actually got to start it yet, obviously, so I don't know 100%, but looking at the design, it looks like it's going to be a very efficient design. So what they've done here is you got your single pump, just like a real engine, and you got your intake here, which goes into the front on this side, and then it comes down and out through both ports on the bottom here. Now these go to the cylinder, to the sleeves, and that's their intake for the engine. Now this is the cool part. So there's the intake there, these two ports for each bank. Then as it's going through the sleeves, it's also coming up through these points here. You got one here, one here, one here, and I think there's one in this one too. It's such a fine hole. So you got 4 points that the coolant is actually coming up into the cylinder heads. And if you look at the cylinder head, so this is the left side here, you also have those corresponding points right here, here, and here, and then here. So these are all the 4 cooling intake points for your cylinder head. Now this is what I thought was pretty interesting. Look at this is the output for your cooling for your head here, and that's going to go directly into the block right there. And this is O-ring groove for O-ring seal, and that goes in and out through the pump again. So then it's going to go out through these 2 holes here, and these are decent sized holes. You're not restricted by those banjo nuts. It goes out through here and out into here. Very effective design. Looking at it and going through it, it seems like it's going to work very well. That's the cooling for this engine. Now let's talk about the oil, the lubrication for this engine, because that's just as cool. I mean, so you got your pump here, and it's drawing from the oil pan in the bottom, and it's going through the pump, through the filter, then through the pump, and back into the engine here. This is your engine input line for your oil. Now what it does is it goes up right to this point here. Now this hole, if you were to look through it, and it's hard to see on camera, but it goes all the way to the other side. So when you put your back plate on here, you want to make sure you get good sealant on this side, so that oil can't leak out through there. Now it goes through here, up this hole to go out through your cylinder heads on both sides. Shown there, it comes out on this side, and then it goes out to the cylinder head. And on the cylinder head, that hole is represented by this right here. So this is your lubricating line. It goes in through there, and then it comes out these 4 little holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. It comes out through here up into your rocker arm assembly and lubricates your whole lifters and everything. Very nice design. And then it drains back down. It's got 3 drain points. 1, 2, and 3. Or wait. Sorry. Let me correct myself here. There's so many holes in this thing. This is the main drain port. There you go, right there. So that's the main. There's only the one there. And it looks like it can drain back out through the top here and through the top here. And that's going to drain into your center lifter assembly there. So it really does lubricate everything, because that's going to go down and lubricate all your lifters and your push rods. Now, so the oil goes up that way, but then it travels all the way to the front. So it travels from the back here all the way down this line and comes out here. So then it has a channel to run, and you got to seal this up. When you seal it up, you don't want to use too much sealant, because you'll run into the risk of blocking up these holes here. So you seal it up. This is going to go through here, and now that hole goes all the way and is the line that feeds, and it's very hard to see probably, but there's little holes at the top here over each lobe to drop oil on on your cam lobes, and everything will fall down to the bottom into the oil pan, where it can get collected by the oil pump again. It also has 2 main drain points here, and it looks like this is kind of sloped down a degree or 2, so that the oil can drain downwards onto your timing gear and stuff too, so everything stays nice and lubricated. Very, very well thought out design. I'm extremely impressed with that. And as always, they include all their parts are all organized and ready for you to search for. They've used nice little, there we go. So they use little inserts for your connecting rods, and they have holes through the inserts so that the oil can get fed through and lubricate it. The only engine that I've seen with these inserts is the Howland L6, which I really like this, because these inserts, when they need to be replaced, they can just be replaced at a much lower cost. The seals look very nice. This is the rear seal. As I was saying, it's really like a main seal for a real car. It's very nicely done. You got your oil rings, you got your lifters here. These are the brass bushings for your lifters, and I'd recommend cleaning all of your little parts here. It looks like there's a bit of a film on there, but just that way it makes them nice and clean, and it gets any dirt or anything that might still be on there. Not saying these are dirty, but there might be dirt or metal particles or something still in there. It's very possible, because there's a lot going on with these engines. On this guy here, yeah, I already showed you those. And then we got the lifters, and we got the spacer for the between the one-way bearing and the flywheel there. And that's it. That's everything. So as you can see, why I'm very excited. There's a lot going on this engine. I'm starting to build it. I'm just at the point of cleaning everything now. I've checked the ring gap. All the ring gap is very nice. They even give you a tool. I like that. They give you tools on this one. Never had tools on these kits before. So they give you a little checker here. And this 1mm checker is great because it also allows you to check the ring gap. So use it, check the ring gap. This is the wrench for tightening your rocker arms. So that's another good little tool to have. And they've also given you, now this is stainless steel. This is a piston insertion tool. I actually ended up making one out of a toy-in one for the Cison LS-V, and that's this guy here. And actually these pistons, they fit the diameter of the aluminum LS-V one. So I might just I don't know, I might just use these. I might just use this one that I made because this is aluminum. I'm not sure how the stainless steel is gonna affect the piston rings. I don't know if it's gonna scratch it up or nothing. I mean, I always use lubrication when I'm doing it and assembly oil and lots of it, but it's a really hard material. I like the aluminum piston ring tools because it's a softer material, and it doesn't seem to, like, I've never had any gouges or anything, no material coming off, and there's really no chance of damaging the piston ring because this aluminum piston ring is harder than this. So, and this is like just as hard as the piston ring, so I don't know. But yes, so there you go. This is the Cison LS-52 engine. She is beautiful, a work of art. I think Cison outdid themselves on this engine, and I can't wait to put it together and show you guys how awesome it runs. This is a new engine, so I'm going to get the video for this as soon as possible. While I'm building it, I'm going to make the video, and I'm going to put the videos on YouTube as fast as I'm building it. So stay tuned for that. Alright, thanks for watching. Please like my video, and good luck on your next build. Bye for now.